Americans are getting lazy. Too many holidays. Mental Health Monday, Taco Tuesday. No one shows up on Friday. You want America to be great again? Try showing up.
In a funny bit, Senator Kennedy asked Kash Patel about the Epstein files. You got to listen to the context about why this is funny.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself.
Are you going to release all the information about that? Like before I die?
Senator.
Breaking news, Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ras Baraka has been arrested and detained at an ICE facility after interfering with a deportation operation. Let's see the frenzy that ensued. Then after that, we're going to see him walk away in handcuffs.
You cannot push it. You cannot hold this. You can't push members of Congress.
This is peaceful. You are fascists.
Get over her.
You are fascists. This is peaceful.
You cannot push it. You cannot hold this. You can't push members of Congress.
This is peaceful. You are fascists.
Get over her.
You are fascists. This is peaceful. Put your hands on me. If it's harassed, you know that's wrong.
In an update about the Newark, New Jersey mayor situation, we've caught Democratic Representative LaMonica McIver assaulting ICE agents during the incident. Let's take a look at this exclusive video. In other major news, President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have initiated an immediate ceasefire between the two nations of India and Pakistan amid war tensions.
Nick, what's the latest?
Yeah, I was just talking to a source who was literally in the room where it happened, where Secretary of State Marco Rubio, I was told, played a massive role in bringing about this ceasefire, a ceasefire that on multiple times today and even yesterday, because it was in the works yesterday, perhaps over the last 48 hours as we've been reporting. And it was only in the last couple of hours before this ceasefire came into effect, just about an hour or so ago, that there was enough of a pause to call it and say that this was real, that enough diplomacy and leverage have been put on both sides to get them to stop here.
In other news, Trump and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent resumed trade talks with China and Switzerland over the weekend. They had an 8-hour meeting that seemed to be very productive.
We have to make a great deal for America.
Are you going to be disappointed if he comes back without a deal?
No, not at all, because we already made a great deal. We're not doing business with China right now. So if you're not going to do business with them, you're not going to lose $1 trillion. I think we're going to come back with a fair deal for both China and us.
And I think that led to a great deal of the productivity we've seen. We will be giving details tomorrow. but I can tell you that the talks were productive. We had the vice premier, 2 vice ministers who were integrally involved, Ambassador Jameson and myself, and I spoke to President Trump, as did Ambassador Jameson last night, and he is fully informed of what is going on. So there will be a complete briefing tomorrow morning.
Breaking news, the United States and China have reached a trade deal. Let's hear CNBC talk about the deal, and then let's hear Scott Bessent remark about the deal while he was personally involved in the negotiations.
Here in Geneva, we witnessed marathon talks over the last 2 days, 8 hours of discussions on Saturday, several hours more yesterday, and they've yielded a major breakthrough. As you noted, we've seen the U.S. and China now agree to slash tariffs for 90 days. So both sides have agreed to cut tariffs by 115%. In terms of China's tariffs on U.S. goods, it's now going to come down to 10%. The U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods going to drop from 145% to 30%, because you've still got some levies on fentanyl in there. During the 90 days, the Trump administration, Secretary Scott Bessent, saying the two sides will negotiate. The U.S. will continue moving toward a more balanced trading relationship.
What was a very positive process. We have reached an agreement on a 90-day pause and substantially moved down the tariff levels. Both sides on the reciprocal tariffs will move their tariffs down 115%. We had very robust discussions. Both sides showed great respect.
So let me get this straight. Not only has he had the U.S. and the U.K. make a trade deal, not only has he negotiated India and Pakistan into a ceasefire, but now he's reached an agreement with U.S. and China on a trade deal. The art of the deal is in play. Mr. Trump ain't playing. In an update about the New York Attorney General story, she is now facing up to 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine for the charges against her with the mortgage fraud incident. Let's hear Fox News talk about the charges in this updated story.
Letitia James over alleged mortgage fraud. James denies the allegations and says she's being targeted by the Trump administration. For more on this, let's bring in Fox News Sunday anchor and chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream. So what's this case about, and does the Justice Department have a case?
So there are allegations that she did not give proper information on loan documents, possible mortgage documents about primary residence, things that would have given her a better loan system to work with, more favorable terms. She and her attorney are completely denying it. They say this is complete revenge. And listen, presumed innocent. That's a great thing about our system. And an investigation is one thing. Do you get to charges? Do you get to a trial? I don't know. But Democrats have been telling us for years, as they did when she brought charges against President Trump, no one's above the law. You got to work through the process in the system, and we'll see how far it goes with her.
So essentially, she's being charged with something very similar to what she charged Donald Trump for.
You can't say you have a 4-unit home when you have a 5-unit home. You can't say that your dad is your husband. And you also can't say that your primary residence is in Virginia when you're the New York Attorney General. It's funny because she accused Trump of doing that and tried to convict him for it. And now she's actually guilty of it, it seems. It's funny how irony and karma come back around. If you get value from this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, please buy us a cup of coffee. We would deeply appreciate it. Link in the description below. For those on TikTok, please don't forget to like, follow, and add this video to your favorites. Share with a friend. We would deeply appreciate it. In an update about the Restoring Justice operation conducted by the FBI, Deputy Director Dan Bongino said that they've arrested multiple child predators and 764 suspects across their 55 field offices in this tweet right here. Immediately before the Middle Eastern visit by President Trump, the media was already predetermined to start to attack his trip. Watch White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt defend Trump and put these press hacks in their place.
Given that you noted he is a successful businessman, do you know if the president has any plans to meet with any of the folks involved with any of the family businesses over there, or see any of the sites that are going to be new Trump?
Not to my knowledge, and let me just get to the premise of your question that both of you have raised. I think it's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit. He left a life of luxury and a life of running a very successful real estate empire for public service, not just once, but twice. And again, the American public reelected him back to this White House because they trust he acts in the best interest of our country and putting the American public first. This is a president who has actually lost money for being president of the United States. I don't remember these same type of questions being asked of my predecessor about a career politician who was clearly profiting off of this office. That is not what President Trump does, and this White House holds ourselves to the highest of ethical standards.
And this Rhino reporter, Jacqui Heinrich, too. I don't know what her problem is, but watch her get put in her
Why
place.
did the White House announce this deal with the UK before all of the details were finished?
That's not true, actually. I saw the fact sheet. I saw the deal as well before the president brought all of you in the Oval Office in the effort of transparency. You had the president and the prime minister on the phone talking to all of you directly about how this was a great deal, a phenomenal deal, and discussions will continue. But as I spoke to our ambassador Greer yesterday, this is how trade deals work. You set an initial agreement, you set the framework, you set up the deal, and then of course, T's have to be crossed and I's have to be dotted. But this deal is a good deal, and the numbers are determined, and all of the market access that I just discussed will remain.
Does that mean that the 10% baseline is going to still be there at the end when all of the other details are ironed out?
The president is committed to the 10% baseline tariff, not just for the United Kingdom, but for his trade negotiations with all other countries as well.
Permanently, even after the deals are done, like that is going to remain.
The president is determined to continue with that 10% baseline tariff. I just spoke to him about it earlier.
It's disingenuous for mainstream media to think that Trump would try to enrich himself after giving up his real estate empire to run the country twice. Does that make sense to you? Let me know in the comment section below. In another shocking story, RFK Jr., the head of the HHS, has exposed over 100 politicians who signed a bill into law, or helped sign a bill into law, that approved Ozempic for $1,500 a month to be paid for with Medicare and Medi-Cal. Can you believe this?
Today, over 100 members of Congress support a bill to fund Ozempic with Medicare at $1,500 a month. Most of these members have taken money from the manufacturer of that product, a European company called Novo Nordisk. As everyone knows, once a drug is approved for Medicare, it goes to Medicaid. And there is a push to recommend Ozempic for Americans as young as 6 over a condition, obesity, that is completely preventable and barely even existed 100 years ago. Since 74% of Americans are obese, the cost of all of them, if they take their Ozempic prescriptions, will be $3 trillion a year. This is a drug that has made Novo Nordisk the biggest company in Europe. It's a Danish company, but the Danish government does not recommend it. It recommends a change in diet to treat obesity and exercise. Virtually Novo Nordisk's entire value is based upon its projections of what Ozempic is going to sell to Americans. For half the price of Ozempic, we could purchase regeneratively raised organic agriculture, organic food for every American, 3 meals a day, and gym membership for every obese American. Why are members of Congress doing the bidding of this Danish company instead of standing up for American farmers and children?
Follow the money. That's basically what that tells me. How many members of Congress choose their own pockets over the American people? It's disgusting. Which leads me to the question in this video. Do you feel as though it's okay for representatives of Congress to assault ICE members, verbally abuse ICE members when they're just doing their job, to deport illegal immigrants? Do you feel as though it should be illegal for companies to fund members of Congress in order for them to get them to pass bills for products to be paid for with state-funded health care? Let me know how you feel about these questions in the comments. Oh, and if you missed the last video, Trump got a major company to sign a trade deal, and he's talking to China also. If you missed all the other news that was involved in that episode, don't worry. All you have to do is click this video right here.